welcome back to my channel. I am reviewing this today. This is the e.l.f. Illuminating Face Primer, and somebody actually specifically requested that I review this one. And a little over a year ago, I reviewed this e.l.f. primer, which I actually ended up really liking a lot. These are only $6 at the drugstore. I get mine at Target, so they may vary in price elsewhere, but I liked this one a lot, so I was happy to review this one. And I've never used it before, so I'm going to do my first impression and review right now. Now this lavender primer is supposed to be brightening for skin with yellow undertones. It's all supposed to make your makeup last longer, fill in fine lines and wrinkles, and do all that good stuff. This is a silicone primer. Same thing with this one, and it's also silicone. It's supposed to fill in fine lines and wrinkles, make your makeup last longer, and instead of brightening like this one, it's supposed to be illuminating. So we're about to find out what the difference is. Now when I look at the two different bottles, this one is kind of like a matte purple, but this one looks almost like shimmery. This is supposed to be good for all skin tones, but I guess we'll see when it comes out. Okay, so it comes out like this little yellowy color right here, and I'm curious if this is gonna work on really fair skin tones. So, okay, apparently a little bit goes a really long way because I have a ton just from that one pump, so. Okay, it's not really blending into my hand very well. My hands are very dry, so this may not be ideal for somebody with dry skin. Doesn't look like it wants to settle into my skin at all. It might be hard for you to tell. I might just be being overly critical as well, but it doesn't look like it wants to settle into my skin. I'll give it just a second to see if maybe it'll set, because when you put a primer on your skin, you're supposed to give it just a minute or two to set before you actually start applying your makeup. So I'm going to take what's left over on my fingers, and apparently it's everywhere, apply that to my face, and okay, it's glittery. It's very glittery. So apparently that is what the difference is between the brightening and the illuminating. The brightening is just like a color correction, and the illuminating is glitter. Gotta be honest, guys, I don't know how I feel about this yet. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more. I have oily combo skin, and the purple one works really well for me. So, no, I'm afraid. Is that wrong? I'm afraid of what this is gonna look like. This is very glittery. I'm gonna zoom in just a second so you can see after I finish applying this. Just like any primer that you apply with your hands, you want to make sure you press it into your pores, and you'll get the most benefit that way with the pore filling and the line filling. So make sure you press and don't just rub around. Also by pressing, it's gonna absorb a little bit better. It's not just gonna like pill up on your skin. So as I am zoomed in here, I'm sure you can see it is a bit glittery. And by a bit, I mean extremely glittery, which, like I said, kind of terrifies me, because if I have glitter on my face, I want it to be very concentrated. I want it to be on my eyelids, or maybe a little bit right here on my cheekbones, but not on my whole face. So I'm worried about how this is going to look underneath my makeup. Now, one thing I'd like to point out is on the box it says ideal for all skin tones. I would not recommend this for very, very fair people. If you have like porcelain or ivory skin, I wouldn't recommend this because the glitter is gold, and that's not going to work on you. You would need something that's like a pearl glitter or like a white glitter. So, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't recommend glitter all over your whole face at all, but if you're going to use this, I would not recommend it for really fair people. I'm now going to apply the rest of my makeup, and once I'm done doing that, I will check back in with you guys and let you know what I think. Okay guys, now I have my full face of makeup on, and the foundation I used is the Chanel Perfection Lumiere, which is a medium to full coverage. And I wanted to see how this primer looked underneath a full coverage foundation, because I wanted to know like exactly how much of that glittery stuff was going to come through once my foundation is on. And it doesn't come through a lot, but I could still definitely see it in the areas where I have less coverage of this foundation, like on my hairline and like my upper lip area. I don't put a ton of foundation in those areas, so I could definitely see the glittery stuff coming through. It might be harder for you to pick up on camera. Let me see, let me zoom you in on my hairline here. I didn't even know if you could tell, so I'm just gonna zoom back out. But anyhow, so far The way that the makeup applied on top of the primer was really, really nice. I felt like it went on really smoothly and very evenly. Now, and another reason I chose this foundation specifically is because it is water-based, and it's not really like known as a big no-no in the beauty world, but it is, if you have trouble blending a foundation over a primer, then it's likely that one is water-based and one is oil-based. Water and oil do not mix at all. So even though a lot of times it is difficult to get a water-based foundation to mix with an oil-based or silicone primer, I wanted to see specifically how this would do, because I wear this foundation all the time and I want something that's going to work with this foundation. So, I mean, it went on really well. I like it. It has a really good finish. I've had this foundation on for probably an hour and a half now, and I'm not oily at all, and I have the tendency to get really oily, especially in the summertime, like usually right here, my forehead, and then right here on the sides of my chin as well. So no problems with that yet. This is really keeping the oil away. So that is it so far for this review. I am going to go about my day, do the stuff I'm going to do, and then I'll be back in just a little while to let you guys know how I like it. Okay guys, I am back, and the time is now 9:19, and originally when I put this on, I believe it was like 1:30 or 2 o'clock. So it hasn't been like a full day, but I usually don't wear makeup longer than, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours at a time. So final thoughts on this primer. Okay, so you can see I am a little bit oily right here, not excessively by any means. I also normally get oily right here, and then right here, I am not oily in those places. Hopefully these bright lights don't make it look like I'm oilier than I actually am, because looking in the mirror, I wouldn't even think to like touch up my foundation right now. So one thing that I did notice is something I'm really happy with actually. I am getting up there in age, I guess, and so now when I raise my eyebrows, I get these creases right here. And so I really love a primer that fills in those lines and doesn't make them quite so noticeable. Primers that make it so my foundation does not settle into these lines. And with this one, I think they're looking pretty good. It doesn't look like it's really settled much at all. And I went to the movies, I laughed until I cried, and then I went to dinner with my girlfriend that I went to the movie with, and we were, of course, gossiping and whatnot. And I make a lot of facial expressions and do a lot of things with my hands when I'm talking, so I'm really happy with the way that this has allowed my foundation to just stay on the lines instead of settle into them. So I'm really happy with that. At first, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I was a little, I guess, intimidated by the glitter that it leaves on your skin, but it really does not show through the foundation. I think that it really does give your skin a really nice luminescence, like, you know, it's illuminating. It really does illuminate, I think, and so I really like this. So final thoughts, this is definitely worth the $6 that you pay for it. I mean, it did everything that I wanted it to do. It filled in the fine lines and wrinkles, made my foundation last all day long, and I mean, where I live today, it was over 100 degrees, and normally when it's really, really hot, that's when I get really oily, especially in my T-zone. I'm hardly oily at all right now, so I'm very happy with this, and I would venture to say that it's better than some of the high-end primers that I've been using recently. So definitely like this stuff. I'm going to continue to use it. It's very, very good. I would recommend this to anybody except for those with very fair skin, because the glitter that goes on initially would be a little bit too gold for you. So yeah, if you could not tell, I am very tired. The time has come for me to take my eyelashes off, put my hair on top of my head, drink a cup of tea, and go to bed. I cannot wait. So thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope you found this informative and helpful, and I do have lots of other product reviews on my channel, so don't forget to check those out. And if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye!